my friends, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. In our last video, we recruited our own personal assassin, Thane Krios. And yeah, that's what happened. Now, in today's video, I do want to head to Omega. I want to do some exploration, and then if there's time, I want to come back to Illium and work on the Jesika dossier. But before we start all of that, I have a moment to talk to Thane.
I spent the last 2 years here. I had a purpose, a goal. Now that I've accomplished it, something occurs to me.
What's that?
In all that time, I never looked at the horizon. It is spectacular.
Yeah, it's hella spectacular. I've noticed it several times. Like, we need to work on you before you were no longer with us. It's beautiful.
You should try it my way.
But anyway, let's
Look
head
at how
back to the
wind's
ship.
blowing.
Have all sorts of.
Entertainment would like to respond to complaints about our upcoming film Blasto the Jellyfish Stings.
Blasto.
Anti-Defamation
I
Association
would love to
claims
see
that our
that. I'm not gonna lie.
portrayal of
I would
Blasto
love to see that.
and our society going so
So if that could be arranged, that'd be excellent. But anyway, back to Omega, and we want to return to the Normandy. I love the ship departing cutscenes. They're really cool. But back to Omega. But before we do that, we gotta feed our
No
fish.
messages for you, Commander.
Thanks, Kelly. Go feed our fish. Go to Omega to turn in a side quest. And then I've got a couple of systems noted down that I want to explore. And I think they're ones that I picked up. Like, we got those star charts, and I think they might be from the star charts, but I'm not sure because I'm pretty sure I'd gone to one of them before. But I'll worry about that in a minute. Do I need fuel? No. Oh, wow. 60 probes. Oh, that's right. One of you mentioned that when I did somebody's upgrade, I would get more probes, and it would make doing manual scanning a whole lot easier. But I'm okay with my decision. 1000% okay. So I need to go to Omega. Oh, I wanted to talk to Aria first before I turn in this stuff, because I was picking up data drop information. So let's see. Let's bring Thane and Jacob. We haven't seen much interaction between them, and I would like to. We should be good there. We should still be good there. And it's this quest, Omega packages for Ish. So let's try and go talk to Aria first and see if she has anything to say. She may not, but I still want to get into VIP. I wonder if there's a way I can get into VIP, because I want to be a VIP with Aria's club. I feel like I should be.
I seen a Vortish shoot a man. Oh no! It was another Vortish.
Aria?
What do you need?
I guess that's it. Never mind,
Thanks.
Aria.
Maybe I'll come back later.
You should find a nice young man to keep you warm in the meantime.
I need to relax. Yeah, I know.
I never know which pair of eyes to look at.
I'm in an important business.
No one's talking to you, lady. Oh my goodness. I just ran by. It seems like so long ago when I first came to Omega, but it really wasn't too terribly long ago.
Come on, let me in.
Here he is. So I had picked up all of these packages for Ish, and it seemed a little on the shady side. Let's see how it works out.
Hello again, my friends.
Hello.
Please tell me you have something for me.
Stolen data?
Have you seen what's in these packages?
Why? Did you find something untoward? Certainly nothing worth getting worked up about.
we sure this is safe?
This information could weaken Aria's organization. You better be sure it's safe before you take it anywhere.
I'm touched. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so do we.
What are you after?
Why do you want information about one of Aria's men?
It's not for me. A lot of people want to leg up on Aria, and they'll pay a lot of credits to get it. If Anto or Aria found out, I'd be ruined. Or killed.
Give it up-ish? I feel like you should. Like, Aria's kind of like the boss of Omega. She's gonna disintegrate you.
Aria will find out what you're up to, Ish. I don't envy you when that happens.
I think I can handle it.
No one has beaten Aria in centuries. Once she casts down your clients, she'll come looking for you.
You're right. I have to get out of here. Thank you, my friend. You probably just saved my life. Come on, Sal. We have to get out of here.
That's better than he deserves.
Is it complete? Ish has been convinced to leave. Oh. Okay, like I didn't expect to protect Aria quite so easily. I expected to have to do something with Aria. Okay, we're gonna go back and talk to her again. I know I'm obsessing over it.
This. Let me inside or I'll smash that silly
I feel like in all reality, with Shepard's relationship with Aria, like she helped me out, I helped her out. Now I'm helping her out again, so she should give me like another favor. I feel like that should be an actual thing, but I have a feeling it's not. I feel like we've run the gambit of everything the game's gonna let me have interaction-wise with her. Let's try.
What do you need?
That's it.
You should find a nice young man to keep you warm in the meantime. You look like you need to loosen up.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. All right, so that wraps up what I wanted to do on Omega. So I'm going to head back to the Normandy, and we're going to go to the galaxy map. So let me meet you there. All right, back on the Normandy. I just took a moment to feed my fish. Kelly has told me several times that I have no messages, so to the galaxy map we shall go. I'm hoping we can explore and find some unmarked side quests and just knock some systems off of my list, because I did write them all down because I'm that person. I like to cross things off a list. Okay, so the first one I had written down was Hades Nexus, because I thought I had been there before. Minos Wastelands. Probably totally not marked. Viper Nebula. Shadow Sea. Where is it? Walking Ida. Hades Nexus. Yeah, I thought I'd been here before. But I'm pretty sure this was one of the ones that I picked up from the star charts. But I could be completely wrong. Hopeless I've been to for whatever reason. Not sure what it was. But we're in Hekate. Hekate? It doesn't matter. Let's just start exploring planets. Hope we find some anomalies. We'll see how it goes. So a dry, desolate planet, Kerr is temperate but supports little life above the microscopic level. Its Earth-like temperatures and gravity make it an appealing place to build habitation hideaways, attracting Batarian slavers, naturally, and criminals who can't afford more luxurious safe houses on other planets. Its forgiving nitrogen-helium atmosphere makes EVAs possible with a minimum amount of equipment. A breathing mask and warm clothing is usually sufficient. Mining and other legitimate activities are few and far between on Kerr. The planet's crust is largely free of precious metals instead of producing kilometers upon kilometers of dolomitic limestone, calcite, and gypsum. Alliance Bulletin Geth have been encountered in the Hekate system. All civilian traffic is prohibited.
Probe launched.
Was the Hopeless one? Was that the... Was that where I went for Tali, maybe? I don't know. We'll worry about it later. A modestly sized gas giant with an icy core, Triodia's hydrogen and methane atmosphere gives it a bluish color. It has 14 moons named after Asari virtues. Alliance Bulletin Geth have been encountered in the Hekate system. All civilian traffic is prohibited. No, and the Tali quest was in our rim.
Launching probe.
So it's definitely not here. So, let's see. next planet is over here. A rock and ice planet, Bothros, maybe, is home to a scientific curiosity. Evidence of a primate-like spacefaring civilization was found frozen in its equatorial ice, ranging from melted fragments of metal to preserved remains of the creatures still wearing suits for vehicular activity. Further exploration reveals that their habitation centers were vaporized by orbital bombardments from railgun-like weapons, hitting with a force of approximately 120 kilotons of TNT. Only those that fled or happened to be away from the habitats were preserved in the ice, where they died of asphyxiation. This unknown species did not come from Asteria, but scientific teams are looking for evidence that they visited there. It is difficult to believe that they would colonize a frozen rock like Bothros and ignore a lush garden world. Their world of origin is also a mystery. Geth have been encountered in the Hekate system. All civilian traffic is prohibited. That was the Alliance Bulletin.
Probe launched.
No anomalies still? I mean, it's fine, I suppose. Okay, so Hekate is done. Hopeless. I wonder what we did there. But we'll go to Pamyat. So tiny. Oop. There's a very tiny one that I can barely see. First charted by the Asari but colonized by humans, the Pamyat system is home to Komarov, an Earth-sized body near the star. It has little atmosphere to speak of, but this has not stopped exploration by robo-miners, who have recovered iridium from the planet's crust. Like, anomaly? Like, anomaly? I keep hoping. Okay. There must be something in the asteroid belt. Another near-Earth-sized rock planet without much atmosphere to speak of, Dobrovolski, is home to Altay Mineral Works, a local extraction company noted for its success in ezo refining. The planet itself provides aluminum for local fabricators, which are churning out habitats at an astonishing rate for a system that has no garden planets. With its ore supply coming all the way from the Sheol system, Dobrovolski is held up as the proof of the miner's cliche, where there's ezo, there's an economy.
Probe away.
Okay. Nothing super thrilling just yet. A rock planet encased in frozen oceans, Patsayev is notable for the largest written message ever created by a human being. Andrei Kobzar, a disgruntled miner whose fortunes were spent prospecting for ezo, used the mass accelerated cannon of a local mercenary group's A-61 Mantis gunship to carve a 208-kilometer-long message in the ice saying, Zdez Necheko Net. Russian for there's nothing here. The message can easily be seen from space. Ironically, the message itself intends to discourage future colonists, now draws small tourist crowds. Can I see it? Well, that's disappointing. I would have expected them to include that.
Launching probe.
Okay, we're 75% of the way done, but there's no more planets. Oh. What? Ooh. A dwarf planet, Volkov, has a thick atmosphere of nitrogen and krypton, home to a thriving iridium mining community. And I'm gonna see again, I'm going to, scan and take all of their resources while there's a mining community on it. Aren't I just kind of screwing them over? But whatever. Volkov's reputation is summed up as rich but dangerous. Pirates often lurk behind Volkov's two moonlets, Zenviva, and Elena, and cripple freighters leaving the atmosphere. To make matters worse, Volkov sits in the Chazov belt, a field of asteroids and other small bodies, which leads to frequent meteor strikes on the planet. Lovely. Meteor-related casualties remain rare, but on Volkov, the chances of such a death are high enough that they are factored into insurance premiums. Okay.
Probe launched.
Well, no, nothing yet in this system. I'm guessing that the only thing I'm gonna get is whatever happened in Hoplos. And I have no clue what that was, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, do we just have one teeny tiny planet over here?
I have detected an anomaly.
Yay! A nearly atmosphere-less, tidally locked planet orbiting a red dwarf star, Hinnom, was the first place human explorers discovered a dedicated Prothean burial ground. While a few sites were saved for posterity, Altfell Ashland Mining successfully lobbied to scout the rest of the planet for Element Zero, and soon was embroiled in a scandal. Mining teams were looting grave sites, searching for Ezo and other treasures, and many got rich off the so-called cemetery business. While EAM officially brought a stop to the looting, its mining teams remain on the planet, prospecting the unclaimed territory and taking their ore to the Pamyat system for refining. Travel advisory: armed conflicts have broken out between miners and scientists staking claims to Prothean ruins. Visitors are advised to employ security while exploring unknown regions of the planet.
Repeat, this is Lieutenant Forzan von Idenna, pilot of the scout ship Summit. Request immediate assistance. Repeat, this is Lieutenant Forzan von Idenna, pilot of the scout ship Cyanid. Request immediate assistance.
Launching probe. I have found something.
Surface scans show evidence of a shipwreck meeting Quarian design specifications, identity of ship unknown, number of life signs detected in vicinity uncertain, local wildlife may interfere with accuracy of biological scan. Well, we're gonna land there, but I wanna look at my quest first. N7 Quarian crash site. A distress signal from a shipwreck on planet Hinnom, Sheol system Hades Nexus, matches known Quarian signatures. The distress signal was categorized as extremely urgent. Land on the planet and investigate the Quarian distress signal. Okie dokie, we can do that. Do I have a new codex that I need to look at? It's post game and Zaid. Okay. Save. And let's land. Let's bring Thane. I want to see him in action. And then let's bring Tali, because Quarians, right? Okay, I'm fine. Thane's fine. Tali, I'll give you your updated combat drone. You have upgraded the combat drone so its electrical shock damages target health, armor, and biotic barriers. 30, 18. Okay. Health of the drone. Okay. Explosive drone. Your combat drone is rigged to explode when destroying pulsing energy that inflicts high damage on all nearby enemies. Pulse radius. Let's make it an attack drone. I feel like that should be the most useful. And then we'll give her a point in AI hacking. See how that goes. I think that's is fine. Hand cannon. Locus SMG. I think I wanna. No, I'm gonna stick with this. If I remember correctly, this was a sniper gun that did it once at a time, but I still had a bunch before I had to reload. Oh, lovely. Beasties abound already.
I am detecting a Quarian life
sign in your location. Judging by the suit's erratic readings, the Quarian is badly injured. I am also detecting multiple native life signs near your landing site.
Thanks, Edie. Search for survivors. Search for wreckage of the Quarian ship for survivors. Okay, so let's see. Let's get on incendiary ammo. And more field. Okay. Let's save right now, just in case. I know there's something I gotta go look at. I'm just taking my time. So pilot's log, scout ship, Syniad, maybe. Syniad, it doesn't matter. Commence pilot's record. We managed to escape the guest notice thanks to some clever work in silencing Syniad's engines, but the strain on the old ship was too much. The best we can hope for is to find a friendly spot somewhere in the Sheol system. Our reports show that isn't extremely likely. We were nervous scouting this close to the Perseus Veil, and we were right to be. At this point, I'm afraid we might never see the fleet again. With everything the Syniad has been through, it seems like an ignoble end. The first few hours. The landing was rough, but we managed to salvage from the wreckage the things we'd need to survive. Unfortunately, Lieutenant Commander Gorlat didn't make it, leaving me the senior officer in charge. We scouted the landscape and found the planet to be extremely hostile. We don't dare remove our environment suits here. We're all hoping to be rescued before there's any danger of exposure. Missing survivors. I don't know who or what is taking them, but we've now lost more than half the crew who survived the crash. We hope to build a camp here to survive until the Idenna found our beacon, but something is hunting us. I have to keep the crew together the best I can. We'll send out a search party when the day comes. I will find my crew, and we will do whatever it takes to return to the Idenna. The Idenna, like your mothership or something on the fleet, maybe? Forzan Vas Idenna. Oh. Hello, sir or madam.
The Quarian life signs are stabilized. I recommend securing the area in preparation for shuttle extraction.
Okay.
Ambush!
Where?
This should soften them up. Yeah.
Crap.
Clean kill. Removed one. Amonkira be praised. Peace. Clean kill.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
They've seen us.
We have to get out of here.
All right, let's get out of here then. Wait. Are we not saving the Quarian with us? Wait.
Coordinates received. Idenna inbound for pickup. You've done us a great service. Expect to hear from the captain.
I got really nervous there. She looked back at the Quarian like, now we ain't gonna save you. I was really upset. I was like, no. No! Found an extracted Quarian survivor, notified Idenna, I think she said, of Synead scout ship location. 125 experience, 7,500 credits, and 2,000 palladium. That was a really short and sweet quest.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
I bet I have. Okay, let's go feed my fish. And then we'll read my terminal downstairs. Hello, fishies. You're still alive and doing well. Unread messages? Changed my life. Okay, hang on. Synead, thank you. From Captain Isin Malvas Idenna, Commander Shepard, please accept my sincere appreciation for your efforts in locating the wreckage of the Synead. That ship has a storied history with both the Migrant fleet and Cerberus, and we are pleased to know that her wreckage can be salvaged by my people. In finding and stabilizing Lieutenant Forzan, you've returned to the flotilla one of her newest and most honored heroes. Your efforts in furthering the Quarian search for a new homeworld will be remembered. Is that what I was doing? I wasn't aware. You changed my life from Jirt. Greetings, Commander Shepard. Liara Tassoni gave me your contact information. I was one of the cleaning crew in the Dantius Towers. You helped me get out of there. Oh yeah. According to Tassoni, you also found Thane. He took down some of the Eclipse mercs trying to gun us down, and I wondered if you could pass along my thanks. The way he moved, one was dead before they even knew he was there. He snapped another's neck, then shot a third, all in the space of a few heartbeats. It was incredible. He moved like a dancer, grace and power in constant motion. Seeing him changed my life, woke up something in me. I don't fully understand yet. I don't know what I'm going to do, but Solarian lives are too short to waste as custodians, especially when there's so much else out there. I'm going to find something that lets me capture what I saw in him, that beauty, that aesthetic perfection. I'm also going to buy some nice clothes. So if you could tell him that, or just whatever parts of that you think are appropriate, I'd appreciate it. Sincerely, Jirt. Or Jert. Probably neither of those, but... Didn't I pick up a ship or something? I thought I picked up one on a quest, like with Liara or something. Where is Thane? Here we go. Well, we'll go try and talk to Thane. I doubt I'm gonna get to say anything to him, but I'll try.
Do you need something?
You mind if I ask you a few
Not at all.
questions?
Nope, another topic.
There's something else I'd like to... Have a few minutes to talk?
Certainly.
Oh, you're not a typical assassin? How'd you get this job? You don't seem confident. I don't know how assassins... I would expect assassins to be more like Zaid. You know, that's my preconception. So, no, he doesn't seem like a normal assassin.
If you don't mind my saying, you don't really seem like an assassin.
You've spent too much time fighting thugs who think custom-painted armor makes them professionals. The Hanar trained my body for this role since I was 6 years old.
6? That seems a bit excessive.
You've been killing since you were 6?
Of course not. I didn't make my first kill until I was 12. They were training me. I was not to be used and thrown away. I was an investment.
Still, 12, an investment, and that does seem kind of cold.
You were a child, not an investment.
I've given you the wrong idea. They valued me, yes, as a resource, but also as a person. They regretted their need for me.
Hanar?
The Hanar? Excessively polite, worship the Protheans? They don't seem the type who train assassins.
Every species trains assassins. The Hanar are only unusual in that they need other species to do the killing for them. They have a strong grip and natural toxins, but have you ever seen one move quickly outside of water? Or fire a gun?
No, I haven't. Unless they're Blasto, right? What did your parents do?
Why did your parents agree to this?
The agreement was made under the Compact. It was an honor for our family.
The Compact?
We live on the Hanar homeworld because they rescued us, some of us, from extinction. We owe them our lives. That is the Compact.
Compact?
What exactly are the terms of the Compact?
There are many things the Hanar can't do, even with mechanical aid. They ask Drell to assist them.
Sounds like slavery to me. I'm hoping that it's not like that, but it does seem very like you're eternally indebted to them, which is kind of like I don't know. Especially I don't know. I need more information.
This can't be legal. They made your whole race into slaves.
Don't insult me, Shepard. Anyone can refuse to serve. Few do.
Okay.
We owe our existence to the Hanar. We are proud to repay the debt.
The Hanar sound like wimps. They probably would. If you were in water, Shepard, I'm sure they would strangle you to death, but let's say it anyway.
The way you describe it, the Hanar sound like weaklings.
Out here, they are. But if you could see them in the encompassing, the oceans of Kaje, you would see them differently.
Probably.
A stream of silver in the dark, looping, diving. So fast the eye can't follow. Laughter like the squeals of a child vibrates the water. They fly over the black of the seabed like birds, plumed with the light of heaven.
Okay, that was. You don't need to do that again. That was. Don't wear yourself out. You're ill. Remember, extinction.
Why was your race going extinct?
Overpopulation. That must sound trite to you. Humans developed mass effect drive before the problem became acute. Our homeworld, Rakana, had few resources. We hadn't even developed fusion power when the soil began to fail from overuse and pollution. The Hanar found us a century ago. They sent hundreds of ships, evacuated thousands of us. Billions more had to be left behind.
Yeah, are they still there? What's your world like now?
What's the state of Rakana now?
Do you read your philosophers? A man named Thomas Hobbes. When all the world is overcharged with inhabitants, then the last remedy of all is war, which provideth for every man by victory or death. As Rakana died around them, my people slaughtered each other for mouthfuls of water, crumbs of food.
It's really awful. Well, who do you work for now? I'm guessing he works for us, technically, right?
But you don't kill for the Hanar anymore. You're freelance. What changed?
I was asleep for a long time, yes. I paid no attention to what my body was asked to do, but then... Laser dot trembles on the skull. One finger twitch, he dies. Then, the smell of spice on the spring wind. Sunset-colored eyes defiant in the scope. A laser dances away. My apologies. Drell slip into memory so easily.
Yeah, what was that?
Was that one of your assassinations?
Yes. Perhaps we can discuss it later. I've wasted too much of your time.
You don't have to. It's fine. I don't mind listening to more information, but it's okay. But I do have a Codex update. And a journal update. Treason. Treason? Of all the people you would accuse of treason, Tali would not be the one that I would assume would be accused of treason. A single survivor was found on planet Guy Hinnom, and the it doesn't matter. Idenna was notified of the crash site location. Quarian Jib is very grateful for the rescue of the surviving pilot. Hang on, please hold. Let's try to talk to Thane again.
Do you need something?
Have a few minutes to talk?
Later. Okay. I'd like to consider what we've already...
I should go.
I shall return to my meditations.
Okay. I wasn't able to relay the information from my terminal to Thane. It's fine. But Codex, and then we'll look at Tali's treason. Let's see. Drell culture. 8 centuries ago, the already arid Drell homeworld Rakana began its swift descent into lifelessness due to disastrous industrial expansion. Because their population was bursting at 11 billion and they did not possess interstellar flight capacity, the Drell would have been doomed without the intervention of the Hanar. Where are we at now? 7 billion? Okay. Following first contact, the Hanar spent 10 years transporting 375,000 willing Drell to their homeworld, Kaje. The remaining billions perished in the dying world, warring against each other for diminished sources of water and food. Today, only a few thousand survive on Rakana in clusters, never exceeding a few hundred. Now a cemetery world, Rakana's population can double during pilgrimage season. Drell have been part of the galactic community for almost 2 centuries. Most reside in Kaje, content to coexist with the Hanar. Those who leave Khaje tend to be adventurers, gifted by the Hanar with acute perception of interspecies body language. Solitary Drell travelers often seek out new species elsewhere, adopting that species' culture and rarely returning to Khaje. Such Drell numbers in the thousands. Such Drell number in the thousands, there we go, and are scattered across the galaxy, tending towards the quiet, integrated lives. On Khaje, the Hanar afforded the Drell every opportunity to thrive, while outsiders and even some Hanar regard the Drell as junior partners, if not actual servants. Drell have integrated themselves into every level of Hanar society as respected, productive citizens. Okay. Then we've got a rival, and okay. But Treason? What? Tali has a personal matter she wishes to discuss, I imagine. What? Who would dare accuse you of treason, Tali? You should go shoot them in the face.
Shepard, the women's restroom is on the starboard side of the ship.
Sorry. Engineering. Edie. Nope, she's over here. Allie, what's going on?
Shepard, I'm glad you came by. I may need your help.
Okay.
I just received a message from the Migrant fleet. The Admiralty Board has accused me of treason. I'm scared, Shepard.
They're crazy.
Nobody who knows you could believe you'd betray your people, Tali.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't lay charges like this unless the evidence seems absolute. But thanks. I appreciate your faith in me, Shepard.
What are the charges?
Is it because you're working with Cerberus?
I'm not working with Cerberus. I'm working with you. And I got leave to serve on the Normandy again.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they're accusing me of. You'd think I would remember if I betrayed the fleet.
Well, what's our next step?
What happens when a Quarian is accused of treason?
There's a hearing, with members of the Admiralty Board acting as judges. My father is an admiral on the board. He'll have to recuse himself from judgment. I can't even imagine what he's thinking right now. The punishment for treason is exile. If they convict me, I can never go back.
Nature of charges?
So you have no idea why they're accusing you?
None. The specifics of charges like this are rarely discussed on open channels. I won't know any more until I get to the flotilla.
Oh, do we get to go to the flotilla? Like we get to go to Tachanka, the homeworld of Krogan. There we go, those are the words. And now we get to go to the flotilla? Mass Effect 2 was awesome. Punishment?
What happens if you're convicted?
Like I said, exile. The specifics are up to the judges. If it's deemed only a tragic mistake in judgment, the guilty party might receive a small ship and supplies. Not that it really matters. Either way, if I'm convicted, I'll never see the Migrant fleet again.
Exile is an odd choice.
So, no prison and no death penalty?
We don't have the spare resources for long-term incarceration. Monitored work detail is more effective. And we don't have enough people to afford executions. An exile can still have children, and those children are welcomed back to the fleet.
How common is this?
How often is someone from the fleet charged with treason?
It's rare. It must be something that affects the entire flotilla, not just one ship. The most recent one was Anora Vanya Vasilani, an engineer who handed over fleet defense schematics to the Batarians.
Oh.
She had good intentions. The Batarians were contracted to upgrade our systems, but they passed the defense schematics to a pirate gang.
What happened to her?
Was she convicted?
No. She made a suicide run on the pirate gang. She destroyed them before they could attack the fleet. She was pardoned posthumously. Let's hope I don't have to prove my innocence that way.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Trial procedure?
So how does the trial work? How soon do we need to get you there?
They'll wait a reasonable period of time for me to come and defend myself. Eventually, if I don't show up, they'll try me in absentia. As for how it works, it's less formal than an Earth trial or something you'd see on the Citadel. We're family. This is just the worst kind of family meeting.
Ugh, family meetings. You know those are always just so painfully awkward and awful. This is like 10 times worse. So I'll help, obviously. We can't afford the delay, Tali, but I'm gonna help, obviously.
Okay, let's go find the flotilla.
I was going to book passage on another ship. I didn't think there would be time for you to help. Thank you, Shepard. I'll program the Normandy with the flotilla's current location. The admirals will be waiting for us.
I mean, we're gonna go, but like, we're not gonna go anytime soon. I have a whole other list of priorities that I want to do first. I'm sorry, Tali. Okay. Travel to the Migrant fleet. Located in the Valahan threshold. Okay, well, let's look at the Codex entry for all of that. The flotilla, or the Migrant fleet, is a fleet of roughly 50,000 starships that house over 17 million Quarians, the largest collection of seafaring vessels in the galaxy. The fleet is so large, it may take days for all the ships to pass through a mass relay. The ships are constantly repaired, replaced, and upgraded to comfortably house as many Quarians as possible. Typically, ships specialize in roles for the fleet, from the enormous agricultural live ships to the shielded lab ships to the repurposed freighters known as home ships that house Quarian children, young parents, and educators. Employed Quarians typically live in the ship they work on, since commuting from ship to ship ties up resources with unnecessary docking procedures. Even within the flotilla, Quarians are, on most ships, will remain encased in their protective suits. Rarely Quarians will meet on clean ships for specific purposes, such as medical services or reproduction. When this occurs, they remove their suits, knowing full well that it is likely they will spend a few days having allergic reactions or getting over infections, as their weakened immune system compensates for each other's presence. I still can't believe they would accuse her of treason. Like, what could she possibly have done other than, like, come work with me, shepherd me, and that doesn't seem right. Okay, so with what time we have left today, I want to refuel.
We have used half our fuel.
So we're done at Hades Nexus now. Okay. The next one I wanted to go to that I wrote down was Minos Wasteland. Phoenix, Calistone. I feel like it's going to be an unmarked one. It's hard to tell around all of these other ones. Minos Wasteland. There we go. Is it just 2 systems? Okay, it is. Oh, inner system. Inner system. Thank you. All right. A pressure cooker planet with a thick nitrogen-heavy atmosphere, Vir is largely ignored by the galactic community. Probes have revealed a crust of nickel and scorched carbon, both of which can be found in abundance elsewhere at far lesser temperatures. That's okay. I'll make sure that there's absolutely nothing left for anybody else. Though Patsayev has a combination of features that make terraforming a possibility, the rights to the planet have been tied up in Citadel Council courts for the past 8 years. The running joke is that by the time the Council finally gives the go-ahead to colonize the planet, Patsayev will have evolved a life of its own. Home to comfortable temperatures and a mild atmosphere of mostly nitrogen and argon, Patsayev could be habitable with the addition of oxygen-producing cyanobacteria. Its crust is high in silicates and carbon, allowing for easy fabrication of construction materials. Smugglers, pirates, and other unregistered starships sometimes touch down on Patsayev to lay low or make repairs. Civilian travel is not advised.
Launching probe.
Well, I've just ensured that if they do settle in the future, they will have 0 resources to work with. Because I'm a kind person.
I have detected an anomaly.
Oh, great. Home to the famous Iron Canyons, Aquitas has reddish iron oxide dust, hematite, covering much of its surface, and significant blue cobalt deposits that freckle the terrain. Turian explorers have discovered hot springs in the polar ice caps, heated by magma in the planet's crust. In a strange combination of science and hucksterism, a small facility exports water from these springs, which is bottled and sold as having medicinal properties. The funds are then used to maintain a research station, which I'm guessing that's where I'm going, which has discovered some fossil evidence that Aquitas once harbored microscopic life based on something bond nucleic acids. I can't even begin to pronounce that right now. In the springs.
Beacon triggered by Universal Distress Protocol. Unregistered user or record damaged. Status is unknown. Beacon triggered by Universal Distress Protocol. Unregistered user or record damaged.
Launching probe. Scans have found something.
Surface scans report potential alien signatures from within the mining facility. Anomalous life signs detected. Whereabouts of facility staff unknown. Well, we will go look at that journal entry and work on that quest tomorrow because we are at time for today. So the goal for tomorrow is to do this quest, finish the Minos Wasteland, and then head back to Illium to begin work on Dossier the Justicar. And that's that. So as always, thank you so very much for watching. Please do keep yourselves safe, and I will see you again tomorrow with another new Mass Effect 2 video.